welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel. My name is Clarissa and today I just really have a finished objects parade. I hope that you had a very fun and whimsical Halloween, and if you celebrate Feliz Dia de los Muertos, Happy Day of the Dead, it's today for you, but it's in the future for me because I am recording this on the 29th of October and it's gonna go live on Dia de los Muertos, the 2nd of November. I myself have set up a little ofrenda for my dearly departed, and I've included mostly baked goods because it's what I remember my grandmother and my grandfather really liking, just fried food and baked goods. So we have that. My grandmother was partial to ice cream. Like, she would eat her ice cream before the cake and then tell us that she had had no ice cream. Now, I know that barring the whimsical events and serious events of our lives, this video is coming out in a little bit of a tumultuous time, perhaps. So I hope that it brings you a little bit of comfort, a little bit of joy, and a little bit of warmth to your day. Cause yeah, we're gearing up towards November 5th in the United States, and there's a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions that I myself have, and I will now not share. But you may have read some of them if you're subscribed to my newsletter, which is going to go out tomorrow for you. So yeah, if you or any of your loved ones are interested in receiving a crafty related newsletter, then I do try to send a newsletter out every Sunday. But that is not why we are here today. Today, we're here to chat, to get cozy, to craft together. Because my lady, does it feel like a long time since we just had a nice crafty chat? I don't know. Maybe it feels that way to me, but not to you. Either way, I sit here before you with a parade of finished objects that I hope will please you, okay? I have a lot to share. Now let's start with what I'm wearing, which is a finished object. And maybe you're able to tell, maybe not. I wouldn't blame you because, like, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. Did I have breakfast? Anyway, not important. What is important right now is what I'm wearing. And I'm gonna insert some overshots so you can see it better. But I'm wearing a finished Love Magic sweater. I know you may not recognize it because I decided to forego the long bell sleeves of the sweater. Instead, I decided to do short sleeves because I went for usability rather than whimsicalness, which did hurt a little bit, but also the layering possibilities with the shirt are numerous. Now, if you remember this reel that I posted 2 months ago maybe, you may recall my complaint with my lack of notes. Well, I did know better taking notes this time, so this video will have to serve for posterity. Let's start with the yarn, okay? I used a cotton bamboo blend, DK weight. This is Kobu from Lion Brand. You can also find this yarn in the We Crochet website, Joann's, you know, any local yarn store possibly has Lion Brand Kobu, which is super soft, accessible, and easy to crochet and knit with. So I'm very partial to this yarn blend. Not to mention that it is great to have when, well, you live in warm weather and your fall just looks like 80 degrees. Now, I did keep the high neck the same because I love high necklines. I know, they may not be really popular, but I've always loved them ever since I was, well, I don't know, but I clearly remember in my teenagehood loving to wear high neck tops and lamenting the fact that rarely could I actually use them because I'm Puerto Rican, soy de Puerto Rico, okay, and our humidity is off the charts. So, alright, let's get back to the garment. It was knit with Kobu, as I mentioned, and it used 4.5mm needles to do it, so I went down 0.5 of a needle size than was recommended, just because I know that when I'm Knitting, I tend to be a looser knitter, and I did not want this to be so wide. Knitting stretches widthwise rather than lengthwise more. So yeah, I usually, if I don't go down a needle size or even a size in the garment that I'm making, I usually end up with something that's very oversized, at least for my preference. Speaking of sizes, I made size 2, which I think was meant for maybe a 32-inch bust, and I'm a 33-inch bust, and I think it fits particularly well. Now, for the sleeves, what I did was that I knit the number of rounds that she has you work before you start your sleeve decreases to kind of tighten around your upper arm, and then you start increases again for your bell. So I just did those 9 rounds, and then I added my lace because I had the multiples required for this lace pattern. So I just added them and made some short sleeves that still fit very comfortably, allow for a lot of movement. So I am very happy with this second Love Magic sweater, and I still want to make a third. Yes, I do, because ultimately the plans for this Love Magic sweater was to learn and familiarize and get comfortable with knitting this pattern to the point where I could knit it with black yarn. So at some point in my near, not so distant future, I could dress up as Morticia Addams again. Now, I don't remember how much yarn I had bought, but according to my notes and what I'm seeing from my stash, from my angle here, vantage point, I have 4 full cakes of Kobu left and about 60 grams left of another cake. So that is 460 grams of yarn left over. I think I had bought, I want to say that I had bought 8, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, I'll weigh this and add it in my Ravelry project page because I do need to be working on those Ravelry projects. Like, I have not added anything to my Ravelry project page or my written out journal in so long. I just need to take a day and soak in those crafty vibes and, you know, gawk at all my finished makes. Okay. In the theme of, oh, the last thing to tell you about this sweater is that the color of yarn that I used is olive, and I love it. I think this is my new me. This is my new me. Olive. Olivia. Ahora bien. Oh, sorry. This is my English podcast. Okay, so next up, we have another garment. And it is a project that I think I've talked a little bit about before. Yeah, I did mention it, especially in the previous podcast. So this project is another finished garment, like I said, and it is one of my own patterns, and I made a lot of changes to it. So, here we are. This is what I'm fondly calling the Bog Witch sweater. And in case you didn't know, I like green. Hey! So this Bog Witch sweater is my Eat Cake sweater pattern. I just made it using 100% cotton yarn. This is Curio from We Crochet. Thank you. I'm an ambassador for them, and I couldn't have done that without you and your interaction with my posts and your trust that when I talk about a yarn, it's because I like it. Or a tool. I like it, okay? So let's talk some changes for the Bog Witch sweater / Eat Cake sweater pattern. I, like I said, worked it in 100% cotton yarn. I did use a 4mm crochet hook, just as the pattern stated, but I shortened the front significantly, okay? And did that on purpose. I wanted a very cropped version of this sweater, something that I could layer a long sleeve shirt under, or that I could wear with high waist pants, because I'm not a fan of tucking shirts into my pants. Now, let's look at my notes, because you guys know I can yabber on and then forget the subject. So, notes. Right, the yarn that I used is Curio number 3, a 100% mercerized cotton yarn in the color Lichen. and I used 242 grams of this yarn to crochet up this very cropped sleeveless version of the Egg Cake sweater. And 242 grams is about 2.5 balls of curio yarn, because it does come in 100 grams. Yeah, it does. Now, I did 63 stitches for the front, and I think 73 stitches for the back. The number of chains or stitches that I did to go from the front panel to the back panel, that I followed the pattern for. But what I didn't was for the width, because I just really kept trying the top on and decided on a width that would give me a particularly oversized look as well. She is sleeveless at the moment, which you can tell, but depending on how much she stretches after I give her a couple of washes in the washing machine, because I do put some of my knits and handmaids in the washing machine. I buy delicate bags, or you could even use an old pair of pantyhose if you have those. Just, you know, if you're using a pantyhose, insert the garment and then tie a knot. If you're using the delicate bag, just chuck the project in there and zip the bag shut. It makes for a lot easier care and also protects your handmaids. The only handmaids I don't do that with is the ones where I couldn't be bothered to weave in the ends, or the ones that use particularly delicate yarns that I know will felt. So I don't mess with those in the washing machine. But my cotton bamboo blends, my sturdy wools, those do get chucked into the washing machine. In a delicate bag, okay? Right. So back to this top. In total, for the length of this top, the back is 15.25 inches in length. As for the width, I forgot to write that down, so give me a moment while I pause, measure, and state. Alright, we are back. I'm joined by a guest so that you can see what the garment looks like on a body shape that sort of mimics my own, in the sense that the bust is the same size as mine. I have a 33-inch bust for reference, and this garment, as of right now, measures 16.5 inches flat. So that means that around it measures 33 inches, but there's a lot of stretch here, a lot of stretch. So I'm imagining it's going to stretch somewhere in the vicinity of perhaps 17 inches or maybe even 18 inches. Now, she is finished, but like I said, just for the moment, I may change my mind in the future, which is just as well, because I do have 2 more balls of this yarn, if I'm not mistaken, and I love this color. This lichen color is... Okay, I think I can stop gushing about how much I love this lichen color and the final look of this sweater completely, and I don't have much else to tell you about it, except that you can find the pattern written for free on my blog. You can also purchase it off Ravelry or off Etsy if you are interested. The paid for PDF pattern does come with a little bit of a guideline on how to crochet modular crochet, which is the construction for this pattern here. But you can also find a modular crochet garment, just a more baggy, oversized look, here on the channel as well. I would link it up here and in the down bar below, so if you want to find it, you can. Right, so I actually have one more finished garment to share with you. That one I probably won't go into a lot of detail, because I did do a whole vlog about it. It was like a vlog slash tutorial walking you through the changes I was gonna make to the summer fan top. Did you like that transition? I know, probably not the best transition, but I just thought it would be fun. So the Not So Summer fan top, I did a whole vlog slash tutorial about it, and it was, the intent behind it was to walk you through the process of making the summer fan top, but also providing you with an open fan stitch tutorial. So the stitch that I used at the top is called the open fan stitch. At least it is referred as such in one of my stitch dictionaries. And then in the bottom we use a combination of single crochets and extended single crochets to create like the sturdy look of it. Now, in this version, I did a lot more rows for the open fan stitch than I did in the original version. That was, I'm not going to say mistake on my part, but I could have probably done the original amount of rows for the open fan stitch and then just done 2 full repeats less so that I could modify the neckline. Because for this version of the Not So Summer Fan top, I have lowered the front neckline a little bit and raised the back panel so that our neckline rests very nicely around our neck and it's not pulling in at the front so that we may extend the back. Now, I guess I can tell you that I made it with a bit of an alpaca lace yarn for the open fan stitch, and then for the bottom I used Opal in their Van Gogh range, and I am so happy with how this combination of yarns worked out. Now, the weight of the bottom portion of the panel is a lot more than the lace weight at the top, so I fully expect that this top will, with use, just, you know, stretch to look more like a corset at the bottom and then, you know, the lace top. And because of that, I actually will probably wear it with an undershirt, and I could use it with strapless dresses, you know, something like that. I think it'll be really, really fun to style this top. And I fully made it with the intent of using a laced weight yarn at the top, because I wanted a more open look but still a little bit of warmth for those chillier days that we can get in Florida. And by chilly, I mean like 70 degrees. Everybody knows that below 72 degrees you need to wear a sweater, okay? Just saying. In terms of my finished object parade, that is it. But like the delusional crafter that I am, let's talk delusions of grandeur here. It is October 29th, and I decided to crochet a witch hat for my costume for Halloween. The idea that I can finish a witch hat in 1.5 days, it's a little bit out there even for me. However, I'm gonna walk you through the little pattern and the process. All right, what we got? We had a bit of a conical shape and I did not like it. So I bought a pattern, witch pattern that I really like. I think it's called the Modern Witch Hat or the New Witch Hat. It's on Ravelry and it starts like this. Little itty bitty thing like this. And it's meant to be worn to the side, so it's gonna give it a bit of a beret look. And I am in love. And I'm hoping to, at least if I don't finish it completely, at least have something that'll sort of maybe look like a hat so I can hide the yarn and the ends under the conical shape and then just wear it to be around my house in, or when I open the door to give out Halloween candy. And you know what, let's face it, I probably won't even open my door. I'll leave the candy on a stool outside, like the real adult I am. So to crochet this hat, as I said, I'm using a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I'm using a 3.75mm crochet hook, and the yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Yarns. This one has a sparkle in it, which, hindsight, working with sparkle yarn and worsted weight when you're using a smaller hook than recommended, it's not fun. It's just not fun. But you know, this was a last minute addition to my wardrobe. I'll put a picture here of me in my Halloween costume and in my husband's Halloween costume as well. We're actually not pairing up this year. Like typically when we do our costumes for Halloween, we try to do a little bit of a couple's costumes or some such so that we can, you know, just have a theme going on. But this year there's no theme. I'm just dressing up as a little witch, and my husband's dressing up as the Way of the House Husband. It's an anime. It's funny. So for works in progress, that's all I'm going to share with you. All my other works in progress are super secret. Not really. They'll be scheduled out to be coming out next week and so on for the rest of November. So really, they're not that secret. I just kind of want to hide them a little bit to get you a little bit excited, be a little bit mysterious so that, I don't know, I can pull you into my crafty web. But what I can tell you is that I've been ordering more yarn for these crafty ventures, and I received some of it. So, well, actually, now that I say that, all mysterious, like I literally have only ordered yarn for one thing. So, never mind all that mystery. But I did get it, and that's the important thing. I am working with Brava Tweed in it's a worsted weight yarn from We Crochet. It's very soft and I love it. I have a soft spot for tweed yarns. I don't know what it is about them, but it's like rustic and cozy and comfort for some reason. Do you have a yarn that you just immediately see and it speaks to all the warm fuzzy feelings inside? Let me know in the comments below. But I think for me, it's gotta be Tweedy yarns. It just speaks to ultimate cozy comfort for me. I don't know. I don't make these things up. I just feel them. So this is the only yarn that I've actually bought. I bought it in 4 colors. Wine Dublin, which is a green, and mink, which is like a gray-brown color. I am planning on ordering some other stuff from We Crochet because they just released their new comb style blocking pins, and I don't have comb style blocking pins. And it means that when I pin my stuff, no matter how straight I try to pin something, it just comes out wonky. That's my main issue with blocking. I'm always like, it'll block out, and it just turns out wonkier. So I am planning on ordering those. I will leave them linked in the description box below if you would like to order them, check them out, view them as well. If you would like me to do a review after I've bought them and used them for a little bit of time, then leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on that and I will do so. I'm gonna say, obviously, these blocking pins are more on the pricier side than if you were just buying sewing pins that you use to block, or if you were buying wig pins or T-pins and using those to block, which is what I use now. So these comb blocking pins are $50, but they have a big sale coming up. So maybe you want to put them on your wish list, and maybe they'll go on sale, maybe not. I am part of their affiliate program, but I do not know if this is going to go on sale or not, so I cannot give you that super sneak peek. But I hope that they do. And if not, I think they make a great, useful gift. Now, I was dilly-dallying between putting those combs on my wish list or buying more awesome yarn, because their sale section, they have an Alpaca Recycle. I think it's called Alpaca Recycle. It's a sport weight yarn, my favorite yarn to crochet with, sport weight, and it's $3.99. So time to stock up on garment quantities, right? And so part of me was like, well, for the same $50 I could get like 5 balls, more than 5 balls of yarn, obviously, Clarissa. But the point is, I could get a numerous amount of yarn balls for $50, or the blocking pins. And I felt like a little kid, you know, when you're gonna give a kid $1 or 4 quarters, they're usually like, no, the 4 quarters is more, even though they're worth the same. Anyway, just little things that pop into my head. The other thing that I wanted to mention is possibly future projects. I have 3 for sure future projects on the go. 2 of them are amigurumi. And one of them is, of course, my husband's sweater, which I'm late in starting as per usual, but I'm still excited to work on it because it's going to be a mishmash, a little bit of my own design and a little bit taking inspiration from the Panadero sweater, which I did knit for him, but this time we are crocheting the garment. And I want a lot of drape, and I'm going to be using this same Kobu yarn as he requested, so I'm excited for that. I also am going to be crocheting an emotional support chicken as a gift, and I hope to finish my Rhaenyra Targaryen sort of amigurumi. I say sort of because I'm using an amigurumi book with a little queen, and I'm just changing the colors and the crown and some little details to make her appear more Rhaenyra Targaryen than just generic queen. So those are the future plans sprinkled there for, you know, Christmas. We're not going to be going home for Christmas. Mom and Dad are going to be coming up here because it's going to be my cousin's quinceañera and we're going to have fun, hopefully. I'm trying to actually plan stuff and not just wait until like the last minute and say, oh, what can we do? And then have tickets to everything be sold out. So, you know, not responsible Clarissa, but actual organization Clarissa is trying to burst free. Now, that is all the crafty content that I have to share with you today. And if that is all you wanted to chat about and check in with me for, then thank you for being here. Thank you for lending me your ear, letting me talk your ear off, and in general, just spending a little bit of crafty time with you. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I do have a little something that I'm going to share with you in terms of reading. So, I finished listening a while ago now. I finished listening to By Ash, Oak and Thorn. It is considered, I don't know if you'd say a middle grade book. It is meant to be for 9 to 12-year-olds. But I found this book so endearing, and just, I think as adults we can take a lot from the book as well in terms of like regulating emotions, processing feelings, and they have a cute, gorgeous cast of characters. It was, you know, it evoked in me at least the feeling of like when you see those opening scenes of the Shire, those green rolling hills and people just living a plentiful life. That's what it evoked. So if you are not going to be limited by suggested age range of reading, then I highly encourage you to seek out By Ash, Oak and Thorn. I listened to it on Audible because unfortunately my library did not have it, but if your library does, I encourage you to put yourself on the wait list or, you know, get it and listen to it. It is a beautiful audiobook. It is narrated as for children, so you do have interim sessions where you have like the sound of the wind blowing and things like that, which for me was just a tiny little bit distracting. I had some issue focusing on the words when that happened, but it's not insurmountable, and she does such a wonderful job narrating. Speaking of wonderful narrators, I also recently finished The Hobbit as narrated by Andy Serkis, and that man needs an award for how he narrated The Hobbit. It was spectacular, and I am so happy that I was able to catch it before. I don't know if it was removed from Audible or it was simply removed from the Audible Plus catalog. Probably just removed from the Audible Plus catalog, but it was just a masterpiece. And yeah, I loved it. I know that some people are not a fan of the Hobbit movies because they prefer more the book, but don't witch hunt me. There are some scenes from the movie that I preferred to the ones in the book. Namely, I feel that in the movie you get to connect with the characters more than you do in the book. But that's me, and it does not detract from the fact that the book is beautifully written. It is very description heavy, which I have to say, if I would have read it, just physical book myself, which I've tried on occasion, I would have gotten lost in the descriptions and I would not have been able to finish the book. But Andy Serkis just brought it to life in a way that it just felt like a play. And so I was able to follow along with all the descriptions and not get lost in the narration. So again, I just think the man deserves an award for that. In terms of book chat and crafty content, that really is it from me. I hope that you're looking forward to sticking around for this channel. Still playing around with the idea of whether or not I do Vlogmas again this year, and I always start it and like I always like just record little bits and pieces. So I'm not sure, but what I will say is that for November, we have a video a week coming out. They're all tutorials, the rest of them. We have a Christmas tree granny square tutorial, small and large. And then we have projects for each of those tutorials because you know me, I like to give a tutorial, but also let's practice what we're gonna do with this stitch, because that's how I learn. And I figured there's other people out there that also learn that way. So thank you so much again for being here with me today. I truly love spending a little bit of crafty time with you, and if you do as well, then feel free to stick around by subscribing to this channel, checking out the community thread, because I'm trying to post in the community thread at least once a week. And of course you can always join the Discord server, because I am endeavoring to create a community in Discord where we can all just chat about anything and everything in respectful, loving ways, especially crafty stuff. And I love, 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 love when you share pictures of yarn that you've bought, or just, you know, those little crafty life tidbits that maybe you want to share, because I completely understand not wanting to share about personal life, because we all have boundaries surrounding that, and there is nothing wrong with that. But even if you just want to share the crafty side of your life, you are welcome over on Discord. So again, Birkin record me. Thank you. And I hope you have a happy, wonderful crafting day, or moments, 5 minutes, whatever. Happy crafting. Bye. Oh. Okay. Clarissa, work. La 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 la. Okay. What was I saying?